Hello. Here we are.
Are we though?
Welcome to the internet. I'm Jason Segel.
I'm Kirsten Miller.
I'm Krista Marino.
And you're here for an Otherworld event. Thanks for joining us. This is our first book, Otherworld, and this is our sequel that comes out today, OtherEarth.
You do have to read the first one first,
Yes,
though, right?
that's right, yeah.
Otherwise, it won't make much sense.
I agree.
So this, just in case anyone was wondering, is our beloved editor,
Yep.
Krista Marino.
Yeah.
And she's the one who actually makes the books really good, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I wouldn't say that.
No, it's true.
So
So I'm the moderator.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job already.
I know. I'm staring at the camera. So I'm going to ask the questions today.
Okay, cool.
And you said that this is the second book. Can you kind of like give me a little bit of info what it's about? It's
Sure. Well,
Short pitch.
yeah, the first book was called Otherworld, and it was about a guy named Simon and the love of his life, Kat, gets injured in a collapse. I don't want to give too much away,
mysterious
but
accident.
a mysterious
Yeah.
accident, and they end up using virtual reality as a form of therapy for her body, and it turns out that she has been kidnapped essentially into a virtual world. And Simon needs to go in and save her, and when he finds her in this world, it turns out she doesn't need much saving. But the two of them try to bring down the company that has imprisoned them. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, I mean there's a game in it called Otherworld,
Yeah.
which is a virtual reality game that's unlike any other virtual reality game out there. It's actually, you can experience it not just with sight and with sound, but with all of your senses.
Yeah.
So talk about an immersive experience. Once you're in, it's very hard to get out.
Yeah, and the thing that sort of got us thinking about these novels is if this virtual reality technology gets good enough, and all of a sudden you can be anything you want to be, why would you ever participate in real life?
Yeah, and so then that brings up a number of other questions too. Like, for example, if you're in a virtual world that's so amazing that you don't want to leave, what's going to happen to your body?
Right.
Who's going to feed it? Who's going to change your depends?
Right.
You know what I mean?
I do.
So it's, you know all about that, right? So I mean, that's the question. I think all books start with a what if. In our case, the question was, what if you didn't want to leave a virtual world? What would happen?
Yep.
And we just sort of took off from there.
Yeah. One of my favorite movies growing up was The Last Starfighter. And I have always been really interested in the idea of what if you found out your favorite game was real and you suddenly became the hero of it. So there's a little bit of that in this as well. And so then that brings us to OtherEarth, our sequel, where I've been thinking a lot about it. Something interesting happened while we started working on this series, which is our real life started being called into
Stranger.
question.
Yeah.
Well, also the question of what is real became a real question. People are saying things like, don't believe what you see and hear. So this book really explores what if that question of what is real starts making its way into our world.
Yeah, what if the real and the unreal start blending together? And I think that when we first started Otherworld, which was, gosh, when was that? That was like 2016 or something,
Yeah.
right?
Time flies.
Even,
huh?
I know, 2 years ago, we weren't talking about a lot of the same, the things that we're talking about today.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, just over the course of writing Otherworld and OtherEarth, there have been technologies that have emerged that are really kind of terrifying. Things that we would have considered science fiction even a couple of years ago that are very real today. You know,
A question I was going to ask you is, I know a lot of this was inspired by real technology. The Oculus
Rift.
was an initial experience you had, but how have you seen it change since you started writing this together?
Well, the virtual reality technology itself has really improved and changed, and now there's wireless versions and you're untethered from a computer and all that stuff. But there's all these other emerging technologies of being able to insert anything you want into a real person's mouth on video, and plausible deniability is going to be the future. you can present a video clip of someone actually doing something and they can say that wasn't me. And that's a pretty terrifying thing. When you remove the anchor of your own sense of reality, your own common sense, people go crazy. And
Yeah.
I think you're seeing a bit of that now. It's the moment we're in.
So have you guys allowed your faces to be scanned by your telephones?
I have not.
Okay,
I
I
did.
feel like your face is probably already scanned a lot.
Yeah, but you're right. I hadn't thought about it. I just did it with the iPhone.
Yeah.
Which maybe I shouldn't have. I don't know, but I like making I like making the monkey talk. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? You
yeah,
can
yeah.
do all these a dinosaur. It's pretty fun. But yeah, it's pretty scary. And all the cameras that are now sort of secretly inserted into all of our technological devices.
And all of the places that we go. There was an article in the New York Times the other day about how many retail stores, you know, your drug stores, your clothing shops, whatnot, are using pretty advanced facial recognition technology to identify their customers and and customize their experience. So, you know, it seems, I don't know, it seems pretty harmless at first until you start thinking about everybody knowing exactly what you bought
Yeah.
and, you know, how you behaved and,
Okay, so, question.
Yeah.
There are two kinds of people in the world.
Yeah.
The kind of people who think that their phone listens to them, and the kind of people that think it doesn't. Who are you?
Oh, like if we're being secretly recorded?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
Totally. Absolutely 100%.
Right.
And not necessarily by Facebook. Everybody talks about Facebook, and that's usually the way
Yeah.
everybody, you know, I mean, who knows who,
I'm not
who
on
it is, but I'm pretty
Facebook.
sure.
I'm
Yeah.
not so worried about Facebook because I've always avoided it. The idea of people from high school being able to get in touch with me is like never appealed to me.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I don't not talk to them because I can't find them.
Yeah. No, but the whole phone listening thing, this was actually, the proof was the last time last year Jason and I were doing events in Charleston, and there was a guy who was with you, I can't remember his name, the nice guy who was sort of in security. And I was walking down the street with him. I had never met him. He was not a friend of mine. I did not have his email address. I did not have any information of his. Honestly, I don't even remember his name, although he's a really great guy.
Yeah.
But we were talking about his experience in the Army.
Oh, yes.
And as soon as I get back to the hotel,
No.
I'm starting to go through different websites, and I'm getting all of these ads for women joining the Army.
Whoa.
And it doesn't make sense because, I mean, the way advertising works, like, you know, which I know a little bit about, but it's, you know, I should not be receiving those sorts of ads
Right.
You haven't
unless
joined.
there was somebody was listening in.
Never been in
I
the Army.
did join, actually. No, I did not.
This just happened to a friend of mine too.
Well,
actually.
also the strong kangaroos.
That's what it was. You.
It was Noreen.
It was Noreen, right? We were having a conversation about super muscular kangaroos.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you've seen those pictures. As soon as we're done here, Google muscular
You're all
kangaroo.
gonna have the kangaroos on your phones now.
Yeah, but then when she went home, her Instagram feed was filled with muscular kangaroos.
No, what?
That's what she said.
Really?
Yeah.
Noreen confirms that
Yeah.
this is true. Oh my gosh. Everybody run and hide.
Yeah.
Crawl under a rock. Don't
Although
turn on
it-
your smartphones.
That may have been a previous interest.
I mean, who isn't interested
Yeah.
in strong I bet
Okay.
you 80% of the people watching this are Googling strong kangaroos.
Oh, they've
right
just
now.
left. Oh, but you can open a second window.
Yeah.
And watch
that's
the
true.
kangaroos. They're
Yeah.
all over the place.
Yeah.
So, in case anyone's just coming on now and they're wondering how you could get one of these Other Earth signed editions from Kirsten Miller and Jason Segel, you can go to the premiercollectibles.com /OtherEarth and buy one there, and you could have your very own, and you could love it forever.
Yeah. That's nice. Yeah. Totally.
I'm going to ask, actually, we're getting questions from some viewers.
Whoa.
And I'm going to
Are they
ask a
coming in
few.
live?
Coming
Wow.
in live. All right, so there's some personal lifestyle questions, and there's some more career-related questions.
Okay.
So I'd say a lifestyle question is, what's your favorite breakfast food?
Oh, do you want to start with that?
Yes, I will
Yeah.
actually, because I know the answer to this one.
I know mine too. I wonder if they're the same. I'm going to write mine down here
Oh,
on the
dude.
off chance
Yeah,
you say the same thing.
I can promise you. Okay, so it's a little bit of a story. I used to really hate eggs. I mean,
Yeah.
it was kind of a phobia. I didn't touch them until I was probably 35 years old. I never ate eggs.
Whoa.
And now, like hard-boiled eggs, or soft-boiled, or really poached, kind of like scrambled too. But eggs are definitely my favorite breakfast food. But this was after 35 years.
Do you do like a every day it's a different egg experience, or is it always kind of the same experience?
I usually go for soft-boiled or hard-boiled.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this is crazy. This is crazy.
You guys are like, how did you do the same?
It's so true. This is
Whoa.
how the magic happens, people. It really is.
Holy moly.
So that is a nice segue to a career question. So you write together, and Jason, I know you've written screenplays and movies, and Kirsten, you've written other novels. How do you work together?
Oh, that's a good question.
Well, I think that we have. First of all, it's really great, and I'm not saying that just because he's sitting right next to me, but I think if you're going to write with somebody, you kind of have to like them as a human being, right?
Yeah, we get along really well.
We do, and we have, I think, a similar, really juvenile sense of humor. Look at that's quite the handkerchief. It's
Yeah,
very, very
I carry
fancy.
a fancy
Do you throw
handkerchief.
it away every time?
No,
when
I'll
you're done?
keep ones that I use. But the fun thing about not to interrupt you, but the fun thing about carrying a handkerchief is that all day long, you're playing secret handkerchief lottery, because if somebody sneezes, you get to unfurl the handkerchief,
That.
and then you give it to them.
Have you done it?
I do it all the time.
So how many?
And then do you say,
go
just
through?
keep
Yes,
it?
and then you say just keep it.
And then
Oh my
how many
God.
do you buy? Do you have just like
You
a
just buy
drawer?
a big pack of them from Penguin Random House.
You're going to start walking through airports, and people are going to be sneezing left and right from now on.
We sell them on our website,
Yeah.
prh.com.
But yes, we get along really well, and I always have thought in terms of scripts, because it's what I know how to do, and Kirsten is an amazing writer of books, and so a lot of times I come to Kirsten with an idea that I would know how to write as a script, but have no idea how to write as a book, and you've taught me how to do a lot of this stuff and do a tremendous amount of the heavy lifting, so I'm really lucky to have found such a great partner.
Yeah, it wasn't that hard. I mean, this is, I think.
This is your 6th book together.
Yeah,
so
it is.
6.
You did the Nightmare series, which is 4 books for younger readers.
Those were really fun.
Yeah, they sure were. Nightmares was my first script that I ever wrote when I was 21 years old. And to see it turn into those books that you can hold, like you said, you said you get to have this as your friend. I really feel that way about books, like that you get to hold them is such a big thing. And
Yeah.
seeing those books on my shelf, because on my bookshelf I just have the Nightmares books, like
And when they come
400
in,
of
you
them.
get to see, like, they're so beautiful, all
Yeah.
the work, like, and, like,
Yeah.
everything you choose, like.
Do a
the
demonstration. Like, what if
inside,
you were
take
reading it? What would that
off.
look like?
I always take off my jacket. I take off my jacket.
I do too.
Because I would take off my jacket too if I was reading.
Right.
Take
Yeah.
off my book
Got
jacket.
it.
And then you can see like all the cool.
I really love that. I hadn't seen that. Yeah, that's very nice.
There's people that are making every decision here. Like this page, the designer is really into the company. Who,
And if you haven't read the first book, this actually does mean something
Yeah.
important.
Do you have any tattoos?
No,
I don't either.
I know.
What if we got the company logo?
Are we going to decide to do this
Yeah,
today?
maybe.
Oh my God.
We have 20 minutes left.
should we call someone in?
I actually would.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Maybe we'll do that at the
Let's
end.
do that.
We
All
have a
right,
company
see,
tattoo
decisions
artist,
made.
actually.
Do you?
Okay.
Do you really?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm sure one of the designers could come up here and hook something up.
Cool. Stick and poke?
Did they call it tattooing or did they call it branding?
They call it.
Oh, nailed it.
Okay, so let's do another lifestyle question.
Okay.
What dessert do you ask for on your birthday?
Oh. Well, I'm a big ice cream fan. I like a nice scoop or two of ice cream. I had some last night, as a matter of fact.
Do you have a favorite ice creamery?
Oh, that's a really, really good question. My favorite ice creamery that I went to recently is in Santa Cruz, California, and it was called Penny. And they put marshmallow fluff around the outside of the cone, and then they torch it.
Oh, wow, so it's like a s'more.
Yeah, I might have a picture of it that we can post
that's
later
cool.
of me eating
Amazing.
Penny ice cream.
Have you been to, there's an ice creamery here called Ample Hills that they just opened in LA.
Oh, come on.
Did they?
It's really good.
Because the first one was in our neighborhood, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What about you? What's
Right
your-
next to the beautiful Gowanus Canal.
Which
Right.
actually
It
is
is true.
in this series.
It is. It plays a big role in the series. What's mine? Well, I mean, I'd love to pretend I'm really fancy, but honestly, if somebody got me a Carvel cake, ice cream cake, I would be the happiest
Yeah,
person
totally.
on earth.
That's nice.
It's true.
I bet we could pull that off tonight.
I bet Long Island is filled with Carvel
Oh
stores.
my God.
Yeah.
So where are you going tonight if anyone wants to see you and in person?
Oh, that's a good question. We are going to, we're going to Long Island, beautiful Long Island, to my favorite bookstore,
Noreen?
Book
The
Review.
At 7 p.m.
At 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and
I believe it's,
in Huntington, Long Island.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I believe Anthony Scaramucci has been spotted there recently.
Really? At the
Yeah.
bookstore?
Yeah. It was-
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I think they had him there for an event, like his face is
The
on
mooch,
the thing.
yeah.
So if you guys, I know you'll probably be eating beforehand, eating dinner. If you could go to dinner and you walk in and anyone dead or alive is in there, who would be your choice that you have dinner with?
Oh, wow.
And if they're dead, they're not reanimated. It's like
Oh, they're dead. Like, you
They're-
have to have dinner with them while they're dead?
but they're dead, but they're like totally cool and alive at the same time.
Oh, okay.
So
I understand.
Right, right.
You're not gonna-
You
it's
can't
not a
bring them back to
zombie.
life.
It's
but
like them in their prime.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in
Okay.
their prime at any age also. So it's like, a young Kennedy
Right.
or an old Jim Henson.
Right. Okay,
Okay.
I see. I see. Do you want to go first on this one?
And it's in a restaurant?
A restaurant, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Any restaurant of your choice.
I would go with, so I love, the first thing I was going to say was David Attenborough, who's my hero.
Oh, wow.
But since we're bringing people back from the dead,
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Julia Child.
Oh,
Would
right,
it
because
be
she'd know what to
younger?
order.
Yeah, because she
She-
would help me order. And then
Yeah.
also she's really interesting, and she was a spy.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And, you know, just a really awesome woman. She seems like she'd be really fun to have a few many glasses of wine with, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Would she be young or old?
I think she would be like, I don't know, old enough to have gone to cooking school and know what to tell me to eat. Yeah.
Okay.
I would go, at the moment, I would go, it depends on my mood, but I would go with my mom,
Oh.
who is currently living, yes.
This is,
Would you want her now?
this is why people love you, Jason.
Would you want her now, a contemporary mother?
I would love to go out with, like, have dinner with my mom in her prime, like the
Okay.
mom I didn't know.
Oh.
Jill Segel at, like, 27.
Single, and
Would you
living it
tell
up.
her that you were her son? Or would you
Oh,
just
or
have...
would we get into a Back to the Future
Yeah.
scenario where
You're gonna-
we're, like, vaguely flirting?
Yeah.
No.
If you think about that, I watched that movie with my kid for the first time, and I'm like, this is really disturbing. I don't...
Oh yeah,
like-
and she keeps trying to get in his underwear and everything. It's really
Calvin Klein,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's uncomfortable. Yeah, I'd probably tell her, which would take up half of the conversation at
Like
dinner.
explaining time travel.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so I'm trying to. Okay, so kind of like parallel to career and lifestyle. So right down the middle. What are you guys watching on television right now?
Oh, great.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna talk about a show that was literally, in my opinion, one of the greatest shows of all time.
Wow.
Which has just been canceled.
Oh.
American Vandal.
Oh my god.
Have you seen it?
No.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
It is
It
the
is
best.
It's so well done. It's so brilliantly written, and it's so immature. And there's so many poop jokes.
Oh.
Jason,
Yeah.
Season
you
one
would,
or season, you need to watch it.
both
I'll
of
check it
them.
out.
They're both good.
They're both
You have to start with
brilliant.
season 1, but it's amazing.
Very
American
cool.
Vandal,
Ah.
Netflix.
It's a
broke my
California
heart.
high school experience. You'll identify.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I've been watching Castle Rock on Hulu, the Stephen King show.
Oh yeah, how's that?
I really enjoy it.
Which it's on Hulu, right? Yeah.
It's on Hulu. Yeah.
Yeah. We are not like this is not. This is
Not
nobody's
sponsored.
getting paid for this.
No.
I wish.
No. Yeah, I know. Me too.
Send the checks.
Be nice.
Yeah.
You get a couple bucks.
So, this is a trilogy, going back to the series. And again, if you're just coming in now, station identification is premiere. My little paper.
Well, but if they're aren't they already
Oh,
watching?
we-
if
Yeah,
they're
we
here?
there's some
the
people
paper.
like, coming in every now and then.
Right.
They pop in.
How did they get here though
So-
without this information already?
Say they like turn on their phone and they're like, I follow Jason Segel on Twitter,
Ah.
and wow, he just tweeted about doing something right now.
Right.
So yeah, okay. So if you want, we're right now signing Jason Segel and Kirsten Miller's new book, the sequel to Otherworld, OtherEarth, and if you want a signed edition, you can purchase it by going to premiercollectibles.com/OtherEarth. Okay, so I know writing is something you do far in advance of publishing. So this book was turned in, a year ago? So the next book is getting turned in soon, right?
That's our editor trying to find out. Wow.
So
That
what's
was
the title?
putting the
Tell us
squeeze
about
on.
it. Yeah. Tell us about
I'm afraid
that.
there isn't a title yet, Kristen. Nobody's written it.
It's just.
It's
a
Should I
fairy
reveal it?
tale.
Am I allowed to?
Yeah, you can reveal it.
Yeah. So book 3 is going to be called Other Life, which we're really excited about.
yeah.
First book. What if you don't? If you're not able to differentiate between this world and the virtual world? Second book. What if you can't tell if this world you're in is real?
Yeah.
Third book. What if you don't know
If you're real.
If you're
yeah.
real.
That is the best pitch of all time.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, it is good.
Well,
you're
Did you
good
just
at
come up
that.
with that? That was
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's and it gets darker and more disturbing.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, the technology that we talk about in OtherEarth is
Yeah.
it's not that far away.
Yeah. We have our finger on the pulse.
Yeah, we really do.
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
guys invested?
In technology?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. You'd have to ask whoever.
So other than these 3 books, OtherEarth, OtherWorld, Other Life, soon to come out in a year, what are the 3 books you would recommend to someone to read in their lifetime?
Can we just go? Can we each offer one?
Yeah,
and then,
you don't
okay.
have to go 1, 2, 3. You can just blurt it as you think. You could also say, hold please, and we could go to the next question.
I can do one book now. I can
Okay,
probably do
yeah.
all 3 books. I don't need to do in a row. I like the back and forth idea. The last book I read that changed my life was a few years ago, and it was Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace.
Yeah.
It was a hard book to read. It took me months. It helped that I had a reason to do it, because sometimes you want to quit.
Yeah.
But by the end of it, I really felt like I had like a psychic change about how I wanted to proceed with my life.
Oh, really?
Yes, I wanted to make more conscious choices about why I was doing things.
Interesting. I will say I'm gonna go with a book that's actually out of print. I think, although I checked on it the other day, I can't remember exactly. But the book that had the biggest impact on my life was a book called The Book of Lists.
Oh.
Did you remember that? Like
No.
it was like they came out in, I don't know, like the 80s and my dad had them. And they were just books of lists, like the rarest diseases in the world.
cool.
You know, the most fabulous Egyptian tombs ever discovered. I mean, it was just a sort of a list about everything.
That's cool.
And I remember just being so absolutely captivated. A list of all the possible alien encounters. And I mean, it was
That's
just amazing.
cool.
Yeah. So I owe them everything. I think it was the Irving family. I think that their last name was Irving.
Very cool.
They were awesome. Yeah.
You can hold if you don't have another, and we can move to the next question.
Sure, whatever you like.
So a question of mine that I want to know about, because it's fun to think about this, is what was your first computer?
Oh.
Because it kind of tells your generation and how
I
much
know.
has changed and how fast it's changed.
The first computer I remember having, like unwrapping as a family, was an Apple II GS. Yeah. I remember it was a big deal, and I used to make things on HyperCard. Remember HyperCard?
Yeah.
It was like really early coding. You would basically click this, it takes you to a next screen. But I really loved it, and I think that computer was the first computer I ever played Myst on, which was a game that is sort of a prototype for the game in Otherworld.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny, it's the same computer, but it wasn't, my parents had one at their office, but we weren't allowed to touch it. So my sister and brother and I would have to go to the public library,
Yeah.
and they had one in this little tiny town in North Carolina, and I would play the first Legends of Zelda, like the
Oh,
word
yeah.
game, which I still remember with such unbelievable fondness.
Yeah,
and there was
totally.
there was a point I could never get past, and it was so frustrating to me. But I'm really my daughter has the latest one, and she plays it on the Switch. And I'm telling you, the girl is a prodigy. I have
Oh,
never been more proud.
cool.
I know everybody says don't let your kids have screens, but when somebody's this good at something, man, you gotta let them
Yeah.
go. I'm like, you can be a professional, right?
She might save
gets
the world
sponsored,
eventually.
yeah.
Hey,
Zelda's gonna have to be saved. I don't know if that even made sense. I never played that game.
sort of.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can give you another book, and I can ask you another question.
How many people are watching right now? Is it the whole internet?
It's everyone on Earth.
Yeah. Whoa.
It's true.
You're gonna actually have more viewers
Than Baby Shark?
Sharks. Baby Shark.
Oh.
Yeah.
I really wanted to go. Do, do,
Yeah.
do, do, do.
Yeah, I was just introduced to Baby Shark this morning. And,
And you're never gonna forget.
I guess not.
Okay, so this one's for Jason, or maybe Kirsten. It does not say who it's for, but it just says, I heard that you got the nickname Dr. Dunk in high school. I'd like to hear this story.
Right.
Which one?
Well, it is for me, I believe. And I was on a state championship basketball team, and I had a surprising vertical leap. I could jump really high.
From a standstill, or?
All of it. And so I finished second in a national slam dunk contest when I was 16 years old, and I got nicknamed Dr. Dunk by the newspaper. So then
How
I
did
was
you
Dr.
get
Dunk
your,
for a long
was it
time.
a PhD or an MD?
Yeah, no, I think it was just honorary.
Okay.
Yeah. But then my dad, remember at the flea market, there used to be those guys who would embroider stuff? My dad got me a hat, and he had Dr. Dunk embroidered on it, but the guy who did the embroidery did it in cursive, so it looked like Dr. Dirk. So for my entire senior year, I was called Dr. Dirk, because I still insisted on wearing the hat, because I love my father.
That's awesome.
Did you play basketball with your father, or?
No. My dad's not particularly athletic,
Okay.
but he has a lot of great qualities.
Okay. Yeah, I mean. Okay, tell me how actually you got the difference between writing book 1 of this series and book 2. Because I feel like I gotta think book 1 was maybe harder, but I don't personally know.
Interesting. Well, I think this is actually a good one for you to speak to. Book 1 actually, for me, is where the idea started. I remember where I thought of it. I was sitting on the front porch of my house. We had just come back from the Sundance Film Festival, where I had tried the Oculus Rift, and the general layout of it and of the series came kind of quickly, because for me, Matrix has influenced everything I've ever thought of since I saw it. I remember seeing Matrix. It was the pilot of Freaks and Geeks. I saw it with Seth Rogen on opening day, and I remember we both walked out like, oh, everything's different now. And so this has that sort of rough game plan. Go into their world, now into our world, and then sort of a reckoning of both worlds. But you had to think of most of book 2. I would have thought that was much harder.
Well, it wasn't, because to me, getting to know the characters, getting to know the world, getting to know all of that stuff in the first book, there's a lot of hard work involved.
Yeah.
And once that's done, and you know who you're dealing with, and you know where they're going, it's kind of easier to figure out what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
And so and third books are always, they're just a joy to write, because you got to end the story.
Yeah.
You know how it's going to end.
And you know you're going to get a break.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
just got to get there, and you know who the people, who the characters are, and so it's a lot of fun to do that. But first books are always
They're the pain.
difficult. Yeah.
I want to go back to The Matrix. Have either of you watched that movie recently?
I would say in the last 3 years.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
Why?
Because I just watched it.
Yeah.
And
Does
I
it hold
was
up?
surprised by the fact that they required a ground line to hook into the Matrix.
Oh, God, yes.
Oh, right.
That's
It's
hilarious.
the early days of the
So
internet.
it's like you don't even know what the next, you kind of glimmer of
Yeah.
what they knew about the internet, but like no one at that point had
That
even
is so funny.
fathomed that like we're like cords. We don't need no cords.
Right,
like-
totally.
So I feel like you guys have kind of tapped into that in the technology. There's a gaming device in this book that is very much something that I think could happen and probably will happen. Do you want to explain? They have a bootleg.
Yeah, well, they have.
Are you talking about the disc?
Yeah.
No, the glasses. Actually.
Oh, in other.
The augmented reality.
Yeah.
Go ahead, take it.
Because I think like so, there's the disc in the first book that takes you into the game
Yeah.
that you could actually
This
live
is
or die.
inches away. Like, this
Yeah.
technology
This
is
is-
here,
yeah, no,
essentially.
Augmented reality is really interesting because when you first think about it, as we had had a lot of conversations about virtual reality versus augmented reality. For those of you who don't know, augmented reality is just where you have sort of a layer of, let's say, fantasy that's sort of superimposed on the world around you. So you see exactly what you would see with something, additional. For example, Pokemon Go is a really
Right.
good example of augmented reality. And this is often how these technologies are introduced. They're introduced through gaming and through things that we want to do.
Real friendly.
And they seem really, really friendly. Or, having the little animojis on your iPhone, mimic
Yeah.
your expressions, and it all seems harmless, and it seems, very fun, and that's how it gets adopted. But, as Jason was talking about earlier, the real danger with all of this stuff is when we start losing the ability to separate what's real from what's not real.
Yeah.
And that's one of the problems with OtherEarth is when you put on these glasses, which, you see the world around you as it is, except with some changes that you've, opted in to. If you can't figure out, if it's so good and the technology is so advanced that you can't really determine what's been added and what hasn't, there are a lot of problems that can go along with that.
It'll be really interesting to see the generation that grows up with all this stuff as a reality. Because
Yeah.
I think that no matter what happens in our lifetime, we will always remember pre-it. To grow up in a world where that's the new normal, I think is going to be, we're in total experiment mode.
Yeah, this is like, Jason was talking earlier about this new technology where it's almost like Photoshop for video. You can basically take a video or assemble a video of a person using footage and have them say pretty much whatever you want them to say, do whatever you want them to do. And that's something that we play with in OtherEarth a lot, but this is a technology that's pretty much here.
Yeah.
If you want to, Jordan Peele did a really, he made a video of Obama,
Yeah.
President Obama, saying things that I think you can see it's pretty clear President Obama would never say. Because it was meant as a warning that this technology is out there, and pretty soon, and it's not even that far away, we're not going to be able to look at something and know that it's real.
Yeah.
Our seeing is no longer going to be believing, so what do we do?
One of my little ads that popped up on Instagram was taking a picture and you can now download an app and take a still picture and make it animated just by drawing lines on it. Somehow that technology turns it into a video.
Wow.
Yeah. But we have to start, we all have to start asking questions, because all of these technologies that are, offered up to us, they're usually something that's fun, something we want to play, something that we want to, have a good time with. And we need to ask ourselves what could, eventually come of it.
I live in a very rural town, and it is amazing how different the world feels when you turn it all off.
Yeah.
And you just focus on local and focus on what is happening immediately around you. And you find, first of all, instantly I feel less stressed out. And If I have any questions on any particular issues that we are facing, even just examining them locally usually provides like a lot of clarity versus opening opinions up to everyone online, and you're suddenly in a shouting match with the entire world.
Yeah.
It's sort of interesting just to look around you and realize, oh, this is how I feel about this.
Yeah.
Okay.
We need happy questions now.
Taco burrito.
Oh, taco. No doubt.
Well, because you can have multiple tacos. You can have a taco feeding frenzy.
Yeah.
But if you have a bunch of burritos,
You could have tiny burritos.
a tiny burrito's
You could have the like little, tapas-sized burritos.
yeah, but I almost guarantee you, and feel free to tweet in, there's a name for a tiny burrito
I
that
know
differentiates it
that
from a
there's
burrito.
taquito, but that's not a burrito.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Wow,
Yeah.
this conversation has definitely taken a turn.
We
Okay.
agree on tacos.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you another happy question, and for some reason it's about food. I must be hungry. Okay, milkshake.
You're just making these questions up now?
Yeah.
That's-
No, I
You're
have them
supposed to
written
ask us
down.
what people have sent in.
I
Yeah.
have it in here.
Yeah.
Milkshake or soda, full sugar, not diet.
Oh, I never drink soda.
I don't drink soda.
So
It seems like a
milkshake?
waste of calories. Yeah.
Yeah,
milkshake.
hell yeah, milkshake.
Yeah.
But honestly, I drink a milkshake like maybe once a year.
I haven't had a milkshake in a long time. Do you want to do that tonight after our tattoos?
Sure. Yes. Yes, let's do that.
And the tacos.
And tacos. Oh, we
Taco,
are actually
taco,
having tacos.
milkshake, yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so how did you guys meet?
We got set up on
Yeah.
basically a work. We got
Blind date,
We
yeah.
had a work blind date. We met at the Bowery Hotel,
That is true.
In New York City?
That is true.
and
Yep.
and it was just 6 books later. Look at us.
What did you wear?
God, I don't know. I remember Jason was wearing a striped shirt.
Yeah, I remember every
Yeah.
bit of what you were wearing as well.
Really?
No.
I don't know. I just have like in my mind, I can see where we sat, and I remember a striped shirt, and that's
Yeah.
literally that's what I remember.
Look at that.
But I mean, I was a little bit hesitant, but I just thought he was a really good guy.
Thanks. Likewise.
Yeah.
What were your hesitance about?
Well, I mean, collaborating with somebody can be a real nightmare
It's an
if you
actual
get the wrong
relationship.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a collaboration for so long, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
We live on separate coasts.
Yes,
That's why
that is
your
true.
relationship is lasting
Yes.
so long. Okay, so I have a question for you, Jason. Freaks and Geeks.
Yes.
It said, why did it only last one season?
The note that we got back from the network was that it was not a realistic depiction of high school.
I really.
Yes, and that they wanted more victories.
Okay.
There's actually a documentary that has just been released about Freaks and Geeks.
Really?
Yeah, but I think that the guy who canceled us felt like the show was too sad, and he wanted it to be more about winners.
Has he ever come out since then and said, I was a complete idiot?
I think he's in the documentary talking
Oh,
about
really?
it a bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet, but I hear
Because,
it's really
I
good
mean,
watch.
here's the thing. It's like, yeah, that was terrible, but can you imagine how that guy, I mean, he's got to live with this.
I know, but I
For
bet
the
he's
rest
doing
of
just
his life.
fine. I bet,
I'm
I bet he doesn't
wondering
think about it
what-
ever.
I think he's traumatized.
You think so?
Yeah.
I like that idea,
I
but I
think
also
it's-
think he's probably like sleeping on a bed of gold.
I think people probably throw popcorn at him as he walks down the street.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of an example of a television show about winners in high school.
Winners?
Why can't I think of one? Like winners, like you said, more victories.
I don't know.
Well, I
Glee?
feel like there's a show where people like win the big game.
Oh, yeah, like Friday Night Lights or something
Yeah,
like that.
where like they ace the test. Our thing was
Right.
always like someone finds out that their dad is having an affair.
Right.
It was real stuff. You just learning how to use that?
I'm learning how to do that.
It's
It's fun. I mean, it's so interactive. Just watching it go.
Yeah, it moves.
Have you guys watched Black Mirror?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's very. Did you ever find like inspiration or mirror, black one, to what you write in there? Like, are you seeing things? I mean, obviously, it's about technology that's existing or is becoming existing technology. Do you find that there's kind of like a common pulse that everyone's tapping in?
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I haven't watched that. I watched an episode of it. I really, my TV time, I'm very precious about it. Like,
Yeah.
I'll only watch certain things, but I know people love it. But yeah, I mean, this whole idea of, look, there's, I think in the first book, one of the characters says about technology and humankind. He says, we're basically just a bunch of monkeys playing with a box of matches.
Right.
And we've been able to create this stuff, but we don't know how to control it. And I think that that's very much the case. And I think that you can see that even with things that everybody thought were perfectly harmless, like Facebook.
Yeah, of course.
Well,
it's easy to forget that iPhone, which kind of changed everything,
yeah.
is only 10 years old or something
Yeah.
like that. I mean, we are still in experiment phase about what all this technology is going to do to us.
150 years ago, nobody in New York had indoor plumbing. Or maybe one person did. But,
Yeah.
I mean, you got to keep in mind, 150 years ago, every human being on the planet, was basically, using an outhouse
Yeah.
in the best case. I mean, it's
Right.
and this is how far we've gone. I mean, we've gone from there to, connecting the entire world through technology, good and bad, and, and creating new worlds that, have the potential to get out of control.
I don't know if it's the best idea for everyone to be able to say exactly what they're thinking at any given time.
No.
It seems like part of becoming an adult is learning not to do that.
Yeah.
And now you have a device in your pocket to just get it off your chest. It's feels like sort of a bad idea to me.
What are your thoughts on outer space? If you could move to Mars, would you?
Oh my, this is. Who do you get to take with you?
Not a good segment.
Right. No, it's good.
This is something clearly Jason has discussed with
Yeah,
his
well,
friends and loved ones.
Yeah, it
And-
feels as though the circumstances really matter on a question like this.
Tell me what kind of circumstances would make
Well,
it attractive.
is it set up when I arrive, or am I
Set up.
doing a lot of the
It would be
legwork?
set up, there would be food, but you wouldn't be able to go outside and breathe the air. You would have to suit up before you went out and came
It's
back
the
in,
Martian,
but-
the Martian.
Yeah.
But with other
more
people and better
than
food.
Potatoes.
Yeah.
Right.
And you wouldn't be alone. You could there's a civilization there, but it's gonna be no grass.
No grass,
No
Jason.
oranges,
You're
no
going to have to
oranges.
live
Right,
without grass.
I mean, I'd prefer to. I think I'd prefer to stay here.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Hell no, I would never
She should
go.
know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even go if it was the most magnificent place. The idea of space travel does not appeal to me.
Yeah, I mean, your pitch isn't like.
I need to work my
It's not a
pitch
big
out
sell.
more.
Even when I'm
She's-
deciding to go on vacation, if the place I'm like, oh, is there a town nearby? No, I'm not going.
No.
You know?
Yeah, no town. But it's a magnificent experience.
Right,
It'll change your life forever.
right.
Where? On Mars?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
You're not going.
No, I don't want to to me, I just feel like the trip there would be such a colossal waste of time
Yeah.
that
It would be a long time,
Yeah.
but it would be kind of mind blowing to go so far. I mean,
Listen, wherever you go, you take yourself with
yeah,
you.
you're right. Yeah, you are.
You know what I mean? That's right.
I think that's an important lesson that, comes back to this book. You're going into,
Yeah.
you could travel so far with technology now. Is it different to actually go there and plant your feet on the ground of other places and see things in this world? Or would you prefer technology travel?
Well, this is the other, sorry, it may be a bit of a tangent, but, the idea, when you go on vacation, if you went on vacation to Mars,
Sure.
you would think of it, it would change you,
Yeah.
right? So if you were visiting a virtual world, why would you not expect it to change you?
Yeah.
And if you went to this virtual world and you were allowed to, shoot all the people that you want, or, do whatever it is that, live out any weird fantasy that
Right.
you might have, why would you expect that not to change you? It's just sort of that same idea of how you behave in these unreal worlds.
Right.
is actually really important to who you are in this one.
And I think that's the metaphor for social media.
Yeah.
You wouldn't, if you acted the way that we act towards each other on Twitter in the grocery store,
Yeah.
you would look like a mad person.
They should do
You know?
a
Yeah.
television show of that.
Right.
I would even like going and like calling people out on their tweets. You said.
What would you call the show? Anyone have a pun ready?
No.
No? I'll think
No,
of
I
one.
thought you had it. You
I'll
gotta
try to
come
think
up
of
with
one by
something
the
good.
end. Yeah.
Meet and tweet.
Meet and tweet. Oh, that's nice. Oh, yeah, it's not
Because
bad.
it could be spelled MEAT also.
Right. Oh, yeah, okay, good. I like that a lot.
Okay. I'm trying to think. So I'm running down on my questions, and I have more questions.
Oh, we got a bonus
Okay.
list?
What is the one thing you need to have in your fridge at all times?
Ah, you like eggs. You like to have a nice
I do like eggs.
carton of eggs.
I also I'm really fond of capers.
Oh,
Do you
Yeah.
ever eat the caper with the egg?
caper
yes,
and egg?
I do,
Yeah.
actually. I find capers go with almost everything.
Yeah, sure. I like almond milk and cottage cheese.
Mm. Together?
Yeah, it's a nice breakfast.
Like, wait, do you eat it like soup?
No, I don't mix them. I never mix them.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
it's like a glass of
Separate.
almond milk. Okay, so wait, this is fascinating because cottage cheese is made with dairy.
Yeah,
But almond milk is non-dairy.
that's right.
Okay, what's the thing?
No thing. I like diversity in my milky substances.
Interesting.
Do you think they could make almond cottage cheese, almond milk cottage cheese?
No, because doesn't it have, it's like the milk curd
There'd be no
or something.
curd.
Yeah.
There's no almond curd yet.
Okay.
Yet.
Shut up.
Somebody's working on almonds that you can actually milk
Yeah.
right now.
We must be selling a ton of books with this kind of banter.
I mean,
It's amazing.
so if you just got online, go to premiercollectibles.com/OtherEarth, where you could actually purchase one of these books that Jason Segel and Kirsten Miller are signing. Okay, so we're gonna go rapid fire, no time to think.
Oh, okay, whatever.
Okay.
Okay. Where
Can
are
I
you
also
born?
can I ask a question to the viewers?
Yeah.
I would like them to write in as we're talking, and then maybe we'll take a tally of if I should shave my beard or not going forward after today.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So-
I think you should leave this up to the public.
Yeah.
I really do. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I'm thinking tonight.
Or
I might
wait.
shave it.
Here are the other options: mustache or goatee.
Yeah.
Right.
Or
okay.
just
Yeah.
cheek.
Or soul patch.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Tell you what. We'll let the viewers pick my facial hair.
Okay. One. Where were you born?
I was born in Santa Monica, California.
Gallup, New Mexico.
Who would you want to play you in a movie?
Probably Brad Pitt would be the obvious choice.
Oh, absolutely. Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah.
What was your first job?
I was a dental assistant.
I was an usher at a theater for a little while, but then I was an actor like at 17 years old.
Yeah.
I got really lucky.
What is your biggest fear? That's kind of a big question.
This is up there. And I think being unprepared.
My biggest fear is that millennials don't get out to vote
Wow, that's a
on
good one.
Tuesday,
Or anyone. I mean, everyone should.
but especially millennials.
Right.
And yeah, are 18-year-olds millennials? I think they're what, like Gen Y or something? Whatever. If you're 18 to 30, go out and vote,
Yeah.
please.
Who makes you laugh the most?
Peter Sellers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My sister. My sister is super funny.
That's nice.
Yeah, and disgusting. She has the grossest sense of
Really?
humor. Oh my god. I hope she's watching. Hi, Darcy.
Who's this interesting person you met recently?
Oh. I got to work with Mr. Robert Redford very recently, and that I would say was one of the more interesting,
I bet.
positive experiences of my life. What a life he's led, been through all of it. He's socially minded, environmentally active, and still at it at his age. I mean, it's just like really, really inspiring.
I need to get out of the house more often. Yeah. I need to stop writing
No
all these.
one.
Huh?
No one.
I don't know. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. I
Have you
mean,
met
Jason,
any
you.
interesting animals?
Interest.
Uh,
There are raccoons in my neighborhood. They're
Yeah.
pretty scary.
Google muscular kangaroo.
Oh yeah, that's right. This is gonna bring such joy to my life.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay, what is your middle name?
Jordan.
Jordan.
Jason Jordan Segel.
Leia, like
Oh.
Princess Leia.
Whoa.
Yep.
What is the last book you read?
Wow.
Oh, it was called a book called The Loney. Wait, I can't remember the author, but a British guy. Won tons of awards. Super, super creepy. Very awesome. I've been reading only creepy books lately. Yeah.
Mine would be The Cows by Dawn O'Porter, and I recommend that anyone out there
The
pick up a
Cows?
copy of it. The Cows. It's brilliant. It's funny. She's super talented.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
What is your favorite hobby? Or I guess maybe the one you do the most. Doesn't have to be your favorite.
Oh, interesting.
Well, right now, currently, I'm engaged in my favorite pastime, which is making Halloween costumes.
Oh my gosh, what's the costume you're making?
Okay, so my daughter wants to go as a voodoo doll. So we've been doing that, yeah, and we've been borrowing because I did some research on voodoo dolls, and I found out that they originated with like witches' poppets. So a poppet's a doll, and witches would have these. They in Europe apparently would make these dolls and stick pins in them. And so I thought we'd go a little bit old school, so she didn't look exactly like what you would think of as a voodoo doll, but she's got pins in her.
Oh, cool. I like to play the piano, and I like to play the ukulele, and I like to do maudlin covers of very like upbeat songs.
Like what?
Okay.
Yeah, the last one that I did was "We Belong" by Pat Benatar.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's Pat Benatar, right?
I think you should do, yeah, hit me with your best shot now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
But I sing them like I'm Tom Waits.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Who do you sing this for? Is this like do you go to like random bars and
No,
sit
I do
down?
them
or-
for my puppets.
Ah, nice.
Do you have any hidden talents? Is that would you sing hidden talent? No.
Do I have hidden
We
talents?
know about.
I think if you got it, flaunt it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
No. Okay. What is your secret snack? I guess if you tell me, it won't be a secret anymore. So don't tell me. How do you take your coffee?
Oh.
Oh, I love coffee. I like a nice almond milk latte.
Okay.
I'm feeling fancy, cottage cheese latte.
Cottage cheese latte. I like an Americano
Yeah.
with milk.
Do you
Yeah.
have like like are you a fancy coffee?
No,
or like
no.
trash coffee?
I'll tell you that some of the best coffee, and I don't know, there are certain, like just, what do they call them? Push cart vendors in New York that have really, really good coffee.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And nobody ever drinks them anymore. It's like that's so much better than a lot of the other places you might go.
I subscribe to a coffee delivery system called Whaletail Coffee. Coffees from around the world, sourced ethically, straight to your door.
Wow. So do they come in pods or do they come?
No, no.
You like grind?
This is whole bean,
Yeah.
baby.
Okay, so what's the last movie you saw in the theaters?
God, it's been a while. I haven't been to the theaters. in a
My
while.
last movie-going experience in the theater was so bad. I saw Logan, which was awesome.
Uh-huh.
The movie was awesome.
That was a long time ago.
Yes,
huh?
but the reason I haven't gone back to theater is because there is a kid in front of me who was with his parents, and he started really loudly farting, like during the movie, and his dad started laughing, like to encourage him, and so the kid, like every few minutes, would fart, and the dad would laugh and like rub his head, and then like halfway down the aisle, this is like during Logan, the lady turns on and says, "Will you tell your boy to stop farting?" And then an argument
And then there was a
ensued.
brawl?
Yeah, a little. He's like, "Don't tell me when my boy can fart."
That's right.
Yeah.
Kirsten?
I don't know the one. I'm sure I've seen one since then, but I did go to see Black Panther
Yeah.
in Atlanta because Atlanta's got some super awesome movie theaters where like you can basically it's like a king size bed. And,
Whoa,
they bring
cool.
you martini, and it was really amazing. So yeah, that was a great. It was a great theater experiance.
Very cool.
What is-
Wakanda forever.
What is
There
the
you go.
last
Yeah.
gift you gave?
Oh.
I like that question.
I bought my baby a pair of boots.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I had a friend who was hitting a milestone birthday. We won't say which one, but it was it was a big one. And so I gave her Swiss Army knife, but I didn't get her just like the regular Swiss Army knife. I got her the one that's like this thick, like with everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is like, the great thing about getting older is that you know how to get crap done.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
here's, you just take this and,
I like that.
and go forward. Yeah, it was one of my finer moments. I'm not really good at gift giving.
What cause is dear to your heart?
Wow.
I mean, I support anything that helps girls of the world, in particular. And there are a lot of great causes out there. But that's my heart always goes out for, because, it's, life ain't easy here in the United States, but if you're a young woman in other parts of the world, it can be very difficult to get an education or to even to leave the house at certain times of, and so that's what I support. And also getting young people out to vote
Yeah,
on November 6th. That would be next Tuesday.
it's a big deal. Well, I'm involved in this local children's theater in my community because that is something that really changed the course of my life. But I'll tell you the best advice I ever got. We're also involved in this Haiti organization, JPHRO, which is a great cause if you want to support it. But I was asking the man who started it, like, hey, we want to get more involved in a cause. We want to like figure out what to do, and we can't figure out what to pick. And he said, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Pick anything and just go forward at it.
I always thought it would be a great idea if somebody put together, I don't know, have it like a website or whatever, where everybody just went and chose one thing. You didn't have to spread yourself all around.
Yeah.
You didn't need to feel like you had to save the whales and the kids and the this, but everybody could just kind of figure out where the money was going and what needed some and what, was doing okay, so that we could all get together and support, all the causes that we care about without feeling like we're spread so thin.
I think you can get into a large existential question of what is local. But I do tend to think that if you act locally, it's a really good place to start because you can see immediate changes and you can make an immediate difference in somebody's life. And if we all acted locally, things would improve very quickly.
Okay, so I think maybe we're heading towards our last question. What is a place that you want to go that you've never been?
Mars. Is that, can we
Now
get
I
past
know.
it? I'm not going to Mars.
Okay, other than Mars. Kirsten doesn't want to go.
India.
Okay.
I haven't been to India. I would love to go to India.
I've never been to Japan. I'd really like to go to Japan. I'm gonna go with Asia. There's a lot of
Okay.
areas in Asia I'd like to go to.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's it. We are ending our signing. If you would like to purchase one of the books signed by Jason Segel and Kirsten Miller to have and hold, you can go to premiercollectibles.com/OtherEarth.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Nice to meet you. Let me know about the facial hair.
Oh, yeah,
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 yeah.
definitely do.